Hey, I'm getting my Sunday video in. So this is more just like a little chit chat, kind of where I'm at, YouTube strategy, life update. It's a mess. It's just a hot mess over here. But forewarning, there is nothing about a bag in this video. So, I've been really trying to get out a lot of information about some of the bags that I've been using and how I'm using them. But full disclaimer, there is nothing about a bag in this video. And part of the reason is I am just on a mission to save money and it's summer. I would like to, in the next couple of years, not months, years, purchase a new car. I think I have my eye on a Tesla and they're not exactly cheap. So maintaining a weekly bag video is just really unrealistic for me at this point. Now, I know people who can do that. I've watched people that can do that. I am so amazed. It's so cool. And I think that that's mostly because their channels have maybe grown in a way that mine just isn't or hasn't. And so potentially, I think if you are making money on your channel and you're working, you could use that money to facilitate buying bags. But I just don't have that luxury right now, and that's fine. That's, I think, a very unrealistic, it's a very small percentage of the population that would see that. So full disclaimer, this video is not about a bag. It's just sort of where I'm at, some things I've learned about YouTube. If you're interested in starting a YouTube channel and just some of my struggles and things that I've encountered, in case you're interested in, let's just go with in case you're interested. So here's just a little bit, if you haven't caught this in my past videos or if you don't know, I am truly the sandwich generation. I was adopted when I was a baby by an older couple. And so I am, my parents are older than a lot of parents of my contemporaries. My mom passed away, it was a year ago in April, and my dad is really struggling. My dad he's been special all his life, okay? So it's not, people are like, it's an elderly thing, you have to be kind of, no. My dad is just a different kind of a person. I think if he had been born in a time later, he's born in the 1930s, and if he had been born later, he would have been diagnosed with something on the spectrum. Something on the spectrum. He told me once that he doesn't like emotions, or he doesn't want to talk about emotions because he doesn't read fiction. Talking about, but I think that kind of sums it up. And he's very difficult to deal with. He does not process things in the same way that I think a lot of people process things. And the loss of my mom, who was more his bridge to relating to people. When she passed, that connection really severed, and I emotionally cannot hang with him 24/7. Like, he's draining, because you want to help him, but then he's very frustrating at the same time. So I have him, and he also wants to live alone, and I had a caregiver for him. He fired the caregiver. He wants to live where he's living. He wants to live alone, or move in with us, which is just not an option, just not even close to an option. Not even just because he would be emotionally draining, and I can't imagine, it's not an option, but physically it's not an option. Our house is not equipped for someone of his size, of his need. Literally, we don't even have a bathroom he could use. Because we would have to completely rip out walls and redo the whole thing, and it's just not an option. All right, so there's that. And then I came to the baby party a little bit late. I was nearly 40 when I had my daughter, and so she's young. So I'm literally the sandwich. In addition to my dad and his issues, my father-in-law passed away a few years ago. So it was my father-in-law, and then fairly quickly, within 5-year period, my mom and my mother-in-law, again, within that period, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So she is in a facility, but there's money that needs to be paid in order to maintain that facility. There is, assets that literally one day she was at home and then she went to the hospital and they did the brain scan and she was diagnosed and she was deemed unfit to live alone, and it just blew up from there. So, and it's progressively gotten worse and worse. So she needs 24/7 care in a locked down facility. But it was literally overnight that she didn't, like, there were clothes in her dryer, there were dishes in the sink, she was living her life, and then it was just, it was very sudden. So we're dealing with all of that as well. And then my husband has one sibling, and that sibling is unequipped to help us in any way, shape, or form. Additionally, he's more of a hindrance because there's just other things going on there. But essentially, he does not work. He does not do anything to contribute. So every single bill of his has to be paid out of the same money that my mother-in-law needs for her care. So you really have two adults that are trying to live off of one lump sum of money. So it's difficult. I also have no siblings. From my that's just a whole story. Anyway, that's a whole story, but I don't even know the whole story. But anyway, if we look at like my family unit, what I consider my family unit, we just have my dad. I also have an aunt. She lives in another state, and she's getting up there in years. But it's really just my dad and my mother-in-law and then my child. So I am truly the sandwich in the middle of all this. I work full-time, but I'm blessed that I work as a teacher, so I do have summers off. But the idea of consistently posting about luxury goods or even non-luxury goods is just not realistic. I can't even go out and buy a Lululemon bag for $50 every single week because, there are things, there's day camps. My daughter wants to go see a movie this afternoon, doing things with her. And she took a cooking class, and then we had to buy all of the things for the cooking class so she can cook. She's very good, by the way. She's pretty good. We had to buy all the things for the cooking class, so that kind of comes before buying any luxury or non-luxury goods. So that's why you don't get a handbag video this week. And so in starting my YouTube journey, it really was about handbags. If you go back to the very beginning, we're talking years and years ago when I could have jumped on this train and made a little bit more of this. And at that time, I think I was pursuing actual acting. So there was that stigma. I shot myself in the foot, basically. I did. Anyway, so because you have those like huge numbers at the very beginning with videos, but they came few and far between. And when I first started this channel, it was really handbag. And then about a year ago, I started to kind of push more towards, hey, this sandwich generation thing is really hard. I wonder if I could connect and kind of bond with and share what life is really like for someone in this sort of sandwichy position. And it moved into more of a vlog style show that I've consistently posted every single Sunday, once a week. So here are a few things that I would like to share about YouTube, my YouTube journey, and some things that I've heard, just kind of consistently. I watch YouTube. I don't just create, I watch YouTube. And I often come across these, how to grow your channel, and this is what you need to do, and this is how the algorithm works, and things of that nature. And I'm just going to give you my own personal experience, very limited as it is, because I haven't reached that point of monetization, and I've been doing this and following like all of their little rules for a year. So I think I would just like to be honest with you and share that it might, don't expect automatic success, And if you're going into this, I really do think you need to have a love of, either you have something you really want to share, like possibly someday someone will fall over this and, you know, find one of my videos and be like, oh my goodness, I'm in the same situation. I have a young child and I have elderly parents and there's somebody else that's going through this. Oh my goodness. And if I can just bring a smile to their face or show them that they're not alone, then it's totally worth it. And that's really sort of why I'm here. I also like the idea of creating and editing, having a schedule and saying like, you're gonna film stuff, you're gonna pull out your phone, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and you're gonna have it done by Sunday, really gives like the start of my week and the end of my week. It's a beginning, an end, a focus, something that I can do, and it's not passive. I have a little digital scrapbook I keep that kind of keeps me sane. I have a book that I'm writing that keeps me going, but those are different headspaces. Like one is for memory keeping, but it's all creative. I like to create, and creating makes me feel better and feel good. So a couple of things that I've heard on, you know, YouTube and how to grow your channel, and just things that I would like to share my own opinion with you. First of all, I hear a lot about having a niche market. Like, who are you trying to talk to? And I think I've established now who I'm trying to talk to. I'm trying to talk to these middle-aged women who are the sandwich generation, who probably also like luxury handbags and things of that nature. But, and the handbags are kind of becoming a little way of like treating myself. I think I've had a few questions and a few people ask me about diet and exercise. So I might branch off and do a few videos in that realm. If you're interested, please continue to let me know. I just feel kind of funny about that because I really don't do a whole lot. I exercise a lot because, again, that sanity thing. But when it comes to dieting, I'm not a huge, I count calories. That's pretty much it. And I am approaching 50. So the fact that, you know, I'm slim, I get it. People are like, what's the secret? I don't know that there is a secret. I think it must be partly genetic, I think. But I'll share with you what I do if you're interested. But I do think that I don't have anything to compare it to, right? Like, I don't really, but that's the market I'm going for. Just these people that are within the same age range. And when I looked on YouTube and I did, you know, a little bit of research there, I didn't find too many middle-aged women, that definitely not like the sandwich generation thing. I think I found, you know, some beauty bloggers, and I definitely am not, like, I love makeup, but I don't think I could give you any advice. And that's sort of how I feel about diet and fitness as well. Like, I don't love food. I love fitness, but it's not something that I would say that I'm an expert in, or that anyone should take advice from me. I literally had a candy bar for breakfast, so I don't think I'm the best person to be sharing that information. So, I mean, I'll share with you a week of food if that's what you want, but y'all are not gonna be happy. I literally do not really do anything spectacular. So that was my niche. So now I've identified my niche. I know that there's not a lot of people out there that have that same, there's a bunch of luxury handbag people, but there's not a bunch of people out there that have that sandwich generation thing going on. And that has grown my channel a bit. I will definitely a bit, but it's not that huge growth that I think a lot of these people are saying is going to happen. And they're saying, if you find your niche, then it's easier, blah, blah, blah. You can find your niche, but maybe your niche is just like maybe that's just a small subsect of the population who's actually reaching out and finding things on YouTube, because let me tell you, we all don't have a lot of time over here. So if watching YouTube isn't one of the things that keeps you sane, like creating a YouTube video keeps me kind of sane, I think that then becomes, you know, questionable, as in, you know, who's out there to watch it. So you could find a niche. It could be a really good one, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to grow, you know, jumps and strides. Number two, I spent a lot of time last year sort of looking for a camera. I thought that possibly the quality of my videos was what was holding me back. I had a Sony ZV-1, and then I purchased, and I was given, and for some tech stuff that I do on the side, I was given a DJI Osmo Pocket 2 back in 2020. So I've had that. Then I bought the action camera, the little, no, is it an Osmo? What the heck is that? I have a GoPro. Well, it's technically my daughter's GoPro. My daughter has a GoPro, which I've used. I've got this Canon. This is sort of my favorite. I have the Osmo. I have the Insta360 Go. That's the other one. So none of that has helped me in any way, shape, or form, quite honestly. When it comes to sit down and talking, I use the Canon. I like that. But when it comes to B-roll and being out in public, this is what I use. It is just an iPhone. I don't want to say it's just an iPhone. I do upgrade to the latest iPhone. I am that tech person. It's always going to be the latest. This is an iPhone 15 Pro Max. I will get a 16 when it comes out. That's just who I am. But that's what I use for the majority of my filming, unless it's one-to-one like this. So I don't take a camera with me when I go places, so I really could have just had one camera, just one. Again, when I got a new camera, the quality of it didn't matter. I think I could have just done what I do with a phone and I would have been perfectly fine. The third thing, I think, and this was the thing that I really thought was going to make a difference, and it did not. So many advice people out there will say, post consistently, which I have now for over a year. And I don't think that made a huge difference. My best advice to you is you do you. If you can post every single week, if it's keeping you sane the way it's keeping me sane, then you post I like that structure. It works for me. But if that doesn't work for you, I think you need to be genuine. I think you need to be real. And I would say do whatever it is that you need to do for you. And if you post sporadically because that's what's working for your life at this moment, then that's when you post. So there's that. And I was really surprised because I did think that if I had a regular schedule, it's always a Sunday night, that then I would see some kind of growth, and I do not see much growth. Another thing I hear is post shorts. I've experimented with this off and on throughout my YouTube journey this past year. I get roughly 500 views on my shorts, and they're easy because you just film them on your phone, right? And then you can repurpose them for TikTok or anything else. I don't see growth from that. It was funny because I was posting shorts just this week and I got 2 new subscribers, but then by Sunday, those 2 new subscribers had gone away. So I grew by 2 and then I lost, I'm assuming this, I don't know, I'm not really sure. I don't spend a lot of time in the analytics. I will miss your comments. I am so sorry. There are times where I just am not checking, like I'm not obsessively checking because really, this is something I am doing for me. If I could make money off of it, I would love to. That'd be awesome. That's a dream, but it's not a realistic dream, I don't think, for me. And so, and I don't even yeah, just before I get any comments, I just want to make it clear. I'm a Christian, so I don't manifest. So I know, like some people will be like, well, if you say it, it'll be it. And, if that, look, no, not me. Okay. Sometimes I will pray that God opens up new opportunities, and, that's as far as I'm willing to get with that. I'm not going to pray for, I'm not going to pray for YouTube. I still enjoy doing it, but I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I don't see this blowing up at some point. So the idea of shorts is great and I enjoy doing the shorts, but at the same time, I would say that it's not like a giant realistic way to grow the channel. It has not worked for me. That's that. And what else? So cameras, posting consistently. Oh, thumbnails and titles. I've been working on that. I've been really trying. And again, I'm not seeing that. Like, I feel like I've upped my game. You can take a look at some of my thumbnails from previous videos to now. I feel like I've upped that. And again, I'm not seeing that huge growth there. So that is my realistic take on this, my opinion, and all else. Take it for what you will. If you are in a situation similar to mine, feel free to hop on board the train. I do post consistently every single Sunday in the evening. Yeah, anyway, that's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to share. I thought it was kind of valuable information. I do wish that there were like more real accounts of what happens, because I feel like you only get to hear from the people that are wildly successful, and I'm sure that those things did work for them, but there are people that it doesn't work for. So at the end of the day, I would say film what you want to be genuine to yourself, and as long as you're happy with that end product, there's really no right or wrong way to do that.